Morning, everyone. My name is Ilya Buluev. I'm Space Department Master Student at Skoltech University. The subject of my presentation is how to write an introduction. And I've divided my presentation into three parts. The first is what is an introduction, what structure does it have, and the final part is how to write your introduction. In addition, I will show you good and bad examples writing of it. I shall only take 7 minutes of your time. Please interrupt me if there is something which needs clarifying. First of all, I want to give you definition of this terminology. So it's what is an introduction. I think that you know this word has many definitions. But today I will tell about the introduction in academic writing. Introduction is the part of academic article that explains the motivation and prepares the reader for the main part of him or her article. The content of this section should convince the reader that the article is really interesting or maybe useful for the reader. Each introduction has to contain a summary of existing research on the subject, your thesis statement, or maybe some hypothesis, or maybe some research question. So it can contain a theory if this theory will be relevant, and introduction and some introduction to the field, or maybe some current situations that we have at this moment. So the introduction should explain what we know and what we are uncertain about. Everything you write here must relate to your research question. The introduction comprises one or several paragraphs. These paragraphs outline the research question and its significance within the topic being discussed. Making it clear what the relevance of the question and topic for readers of the paper, of your paper. Moving on the next part of my presentation, I'd like to draw your attention to the general structure of introduction. The first part, the first step shows how authors establish a research territory. In the second part, you should consider their established niche by indicating a weakness in the account. And the last step explains how they occupy the niche by saying they are going to put this right by outlining the purposes, or maybe some stating the nature of the present research. And finally, I want to present the main topic of my presentation is how to write introduction. to write your introduction first. Some writers write their introduction in the middle of their drafting process. Others try to write their introduction last. Once they know the exact content of their work, try different approach to see which one is the best variant for you. But always check your introduction before you turn in your final version of your research paper. Let's provide you some useful phrases for writing a good introduction. These phrases will be a helpful supplement, led to be more formal and strong as well. And of course, they make your presentation, your speech more understandable for audience. And now, as I told at the start of my presentation, try to compare two examples and determine which is good one or bad. So, I will briefly summarize the main key points of my presentation again. At last 6 minutes, we have discussed about what introduction is, what structure it has, and at least how to write your introduction. In conclusion, I'd like to highlight that introduction is not only the main part of your academic paper, but it's a kind of prologue which engages to make sense of your research to reader and be relevant over area of your study. So thank you for your listening. If you have any question, I'd be happy to answer them.